Welcome to Around the Blockchain. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. Before we get started, got two things that I want you to do. Firstly, if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube or any of my podcast outlets, please do so. That would be awesome. Secondly, I have teamed up with an awesome exchange here in Australia called SwiftFX. If you would like to sign up, I have chucked a referral code down below in the description section of this video. They are a great Australian-based exchange. I've spoken to a couple of guys from there. I've actually moved over all of my crypto assets to their wallet as well. So if you need any advice or any help, just give us a yell and you can use the referral code down below to sign up for an account as well. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoy the episode. All right, Brandon, welcome to Around the Blockchain. If you don't mind just introducing yourself to the viewers for me.
Well, thanks for having me to start with. It's good to finally catch up with you.
Absolutely.
Um, right. Well, yeah, my name's Brandon. I'm the founder and the CEO of Orange Brick Road. What we are is a company that helps onboard people into cryptocurrency because it can be frightening for some people, and there's a lot of information out there, and it's all over the place. You can spend hours and hours going down the rabbit hole and being on YouTube and Twitter and carry on and so whatever. So it's a very simple process. We've got a website that has teachers and they all specialize in different things, like whether it's just straight up onboarding, like this is how you connect to an exchange. This is what an exchange is, a centralized exchange, a decentralized exchange, the difference. This is how you connect your bank account and, KYC, know your customer, the government regulations and all that. And then this is how you then put money in and press the big green button, you know what I mean, to buy something. And then how to start a wallet, the importance of the seed phrase and security, and then how to send it to your wallet and keep it secure. Then generally what we like to do, well, as a rule, is we put people on a recurring buy, you know what I mean? So whatever currencies that they are buying, whether it's once a week, once a fortnight, whatever they can afford, they just level in, level in, level in. And then we just go in whatever direction that they want to go in and where their development is. So you might have some people that just want to do that and they'll leave it at that. Then other people that, well, first off, once we've done all that, we send them a whole file of, documentaries to watch, videos, people to follow, like books, recommend, that sort of stuff. And then they just go down the rabbit hole, and it all depends on their time preference and also how much time they've got available, because we've got guys that work in oil and gas and mine sites, to real estate people, to traditional stock guys, to Uber drivers, to, people that work at Coles, it's right across the board. You know what I mean? So with the oil and gas guys, they'll generally like month on, month off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, whatever. During their time off, they'll go hard into it, you know what I mean, and try to absorb as much as they can. So from there, we then sort of take whatever journey they want to go on. They get into certain currencies, or they want to know about providing liquidity or staking, with things like Hex and Tezos and, Mana Farm, that sort of stuff. And then they might want to go down the NFT rabbit hole, and do you know what I mean? So it kind of, whatever their preference is, a lot of people, when they first get into crypto, or my general saying that I say to people is, for the first 3 to 6 months, you're not going to have your feet on the ground. There's a lot to learn, but it's worth your learning, because it is life changing, and it will alter the way you even perceive money. And then they start to understand about fiat currency and, inflation and that sort of thing, yeah, so that's basically it, is starting people off right from the beginning and walking them and take them through the journey. So generally, to sign someone up and go through a process is 4 maybe to 6 hours, depending on what they're doing. So generally we do like 1 to 2 hour lessons at a time. And then like a week later, we do another 2 hours. A week later, we do another 2 hours. And then they go off into the abyss, and then they call us when they need help, or they, or they have heard of something and they go, oh, what's this liquidity providing thing? How does that work? Or how can I stake my coins and earn interest on it? And, which wallets are better for this? And, so as they're going through their journey, we just sort of guide them, type of thing. Then you got like other people that are like, I've got a few clients that are, well, kind of still are, but were big real estate guys, invested in real estate for a very long period of time. Um, and also stock trading guys, well, people that have been investing in stocks, especially the mining guys, because they all talk to each other and they invest in, like mining stocks and that sort of thing, because it's in their comfort zone. So generally they start with us. It's just like, listen, they go like, I've got this portfolio or whatever. Look, just liquidate 10 or 15% of your portfolio. What you're in profit on, obviously, don't do it while you're down. Put it into crypto and see how it goes. Do you know what I mean? And after 3 to 6 months, you'll see that it'll probably outperform the 90% of your other portfolio, because that's what crypto can do. And then they'll go, oh, this is working for me. I'll take another 10, 15%, put it in, another 20%, put it in. And with stock guys, I found, because I have done a lot of them, is after a year, 18 months, 2 years, they're 100% out of stock, and they're 100% in the crypto. And it's the same with the guys that own lots of properties and whatever. It's like, okay, I'm selling this. Well, we get them in just lightly to start off with, $5,000, couple of grand, whatever. And then they'll be like, this is working. And then they sell one of their properties and they might get $65,000, $80,000 profit out of that. And then they'll put it into crypto. And they go, okay, I don't have to worry about rent inspections. I don't have to worry about dealing with real estate agents. I don't have to worry about the tax, the council regulations, the upgrade, the upkeep on the home, all the garbage. I put it in the crypto. It's virtually real estate and I don't have the headache. So they liquidate one property. Two guys come to mind. Well, they're actually friends and they kind of did it simultaneously. And then they then sell another property and they put it in the crypto, and then another property and they put it in the crypto. So yeah, they sort of hedge their way out.
Yeah,
Yes.
very nice. You've explained quite a few things there. How do you find that these? So you sort of mentioned that you have guys that coming from the oil and gas and mining industry, plus people that are either or have been in the real estate game, and then all the way down to people that just work an everyday job. Like I think you use Coles as the example. Are you finding that there are just such a diverse range of people coming to you for this information and obviously for this sort of education that you guys provide?
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so. Because there's a lot of talk about, crypto. It's pretty much everywhere now, and there is starting to be mass adoption in a sense where you're getting hedge funds that are into it, like banks that are now investing in crypto, investment firms, countries that are now doing it, so that, and it's becoming, I'm starting to see it more on sort of mainstream media and even in newspapers and online papers and that sort of stuff where they're mentioning it. Whereas before it was like a hidden secret. Do you know what I mean? And you really had to be the type of person that didn't spend a lot of time on mainstream media. You're more of the person that was like into YouTube. Do you know what I mean? And spent more time on YouTube than you do watching Channel 7, do you know? But it's starting to converge, and you're getting everyone from all walks of life. But what excites me the most, I think, is, don't get me wrong, I like helping out the oil and gas guys and the mining guys and real estate trading guys or whatever. But seeing the younger generation start to embrace it, and understand that, the way that things are going, they need a second form of income or empowerment, basically, because I think they're starting to wake up to the fact that their futures are very bleak. The chances of them owning a home are getting remote by the week. The deflation of money, the printing of money, especially in the last 2 years. They printed more money in the last 18 months than they have in 42 years, right? That's going to have an effect, and that's going to have a rippling effect. So it's very cool to get educate younger people into it, because one, they're very tech savvy and they pick it up quite quickly, and they're very resourceful, like that they will look up on Reddit, you know what I mean, and get 4chan to an extent, depending on the personality. You know what I mean? Get on YouTube and Rumble and stuff like that, and they can source their own information, and they do their own research, and it's really exciting to see younger people get into it, because I think it changes their mind frame of how they view money, right? Because in a sense where they go, hey, listen, I'm going to order $45 worth of Uber Eats tonight or whatever. They go, you know, I pretty much say this all the time, so I do repeat myself, is instead of spending the $37 on Uber Eats, I'm going to make a sandwich and buy $35 worth of Bitcoin, because in a year's time, that $35 could be 120 bucks. So am I spending $35 now, or am I spending $120? Do you know what I mean? And when they get that change in their head, because the younger generation are very instant gratification, you know, like that they're used to having an instant response because they've grown up, they've never not known the internet, you know. So if they want to know something, they get on Wikipedia. If they want to watch something, they can download it, then Netflix or whatever. If they want to contact someone, they can do it instantly. They want information, they can look it up. You know, it's instant, instant, instant. Whereas when you're learning to invest, it's more of a extending your time horizon, where you start thinking about the future and you think, where am I going to be in 12 months, 2 years, 5 years time? Do you know what I mean? And if you can get them in the mentality of investing, not only does it empower them to get into a financial situation that's better, but I've also found that what also happens is they start doing things like starting to eat healthy, right? Start to exercise more, because they're not doing the week to week. Like, okay, I get paid on a Thursday, whether it's an apprentice carpenter or whatever, plumber, name the profession. I get paid and I've got $120 left over. Cool, let's go to the pub with the boys. Do you know what I mean? And it's very much week to week to week to week. But if you can change that mentality, not only do they go, oh, instead of going to the pub and doing $110, which takes you an hour and a half in a pub nowadays to do that, I can buy a carton and stay at home and get the rest of the money and invest. Do you know what I mean? And when they start to get that mentality, they start to think and plan about their future, you know, instead of the week to week to week to week. And that's what I've really found about dealing with the younger generation, because I'm not exactly a spring chicken, but you know, it changes the way that they perceive things. And I think it's a healthy thing for them to introduce, not only because it gives them some financial security and independence, but also the way that their mind changes and the way that they view their future, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You also mentioned something that I found quite interesting, and it was when you were talking about some of your real estate clients coming into the crypto space, and you obviously educating them. You mentioned that crypto is virtually digital real estate. Can you sort of just unpack what you mean by that for the viewers? I think that's going to be an interesting point to talk about.
Well, the thing about how I'd say that is, well, what pushes the price up in real estate is the limit of space, right? So the reason that it's more expensive to buy an apartment in the city than it is out in the suburb is because the space in the city is limited. You can only build so much, so high, and the place fills up. Whereas on the outer suburbs, and same with houses, you know what I mean? Like there's a limited supply. So if you had in code that can't be changed, completely audited, this is our supply, this is the inflation, it's capped, you know, so every year you've got that consistency that's going through. You then have an adoption rate. So if you've got, say, for example, if you've got a 5% inflation, right, of a coin per year, but you have a 15, 20% adoption rate, obviously that pushes the price up, you know. So it's I'd like to compare it with real estate in the sense is that you are buying real estate in a sense, you know, because the supply is limited. Now, there is caps on other commodities, right? But not like there is in code, you know, like you've got, I won't go into the diamond industry because that's just rotten, right? But the reason that diamonds are, I probably am going to go into it now. The reason that diamonds are so pricey at the moment is because they only release so much per year, you know. There's actually more diamonds than we know what to do with, but they limit the supply. It's the same with gold. We can only produce so much gold on average per year, right? So it's kind of capped, you know, but they could go 500 kilometers inland from a place like Kalgoorlie, which is one of the biggest gold mining, and find the biggest gold mine in the world. Do you know what I mean? And that would then increase the supply. But with cryptocurrency, it's capped, that there is no extra supply. You know what I mean? It's limited and it can't be altered, you know, so there is that certainty as well.
Great explanation. I like those. different industries you've obviously compared that to as well. One thing that I think's overlooked a lot, that you've brought up a couple of times now, is this time preference or time horizon concept,
Yeah.
of, foregoing something now to obviously gain something more in the future. Can you maybe unpack that little concept as well, and just sort of talk about maybe some of the stuff you talk about to your clients when they're obviously doing your courses and when you're obviously coaching them?
When you, I would say the majority of people that call me, they all ask, well, I would say 60%, probably a little bit higher. I don't know. I haven't gathered the statistics on it. They ring me because they go, hey, can you please, excuse me, can you please teach me how to day trade? I heard that you can make $2,500 a week by spending 2 hours on your computer, you know? And I'm like, no, I can't, because it's a myth, right? Something crazy like 98% of traders, day traders, lose all of their money within the first 12 months, right? That's what day trading is. It's just churning, 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 and people get wrecked. I do like to train people on, or show people how to trade, right? But anyways, what will happen is I'll go, listen, don't do it. You're better off investing, right? This is a minimum 3 to 5 year plan, right, for you to gather wealth, right? And that's just initially, because if you buy and sell something within the first 12 months of buying and owning it, and then you sell it, you pay something crazy like 38% capital gains tax, right? After 2 years, I think it goes to, I can't remember, I think it's 28%, goes to 22% after 3 years. After 4 years, it's capped at 18%. So these people that are buying, trading, selling, trying to flip things, they're getting smashed by tax, you know? Now, investing and trading are two different things, right? It's good to learn to trade so you know good times to invest. But what I say to people when they say, and they'll insist on it, they'll go, no, listen, man, I understand that this is what you want to do, but I've heard about the lifestyle of these guys. I've seen them on YouTube and they're in the Bahamas and they talk about, I'm like, they make all their money off their referral links that you sign up to use their exchange. So the more you get wrecked, the more they get paid, righty? So yeah, I wouldn't listen to them too much. But if you're insisting on day trading, I can teach you how to do it on one condition: that you go on a test net for 12 months, right? Test net, all exchanges have to do it. They give you $10,000, sometimes more, of play money, and you practice for a year, right? You treat it like an apprenticeship, because there's a lot to it. You've got to understand your charts, your moving averages, where your Fibonacci's are, where your support and resistance is. And there's a procedure that you have to learn. Like, okay, you put on a trade, you put your order in, your stop loss, you take profit, you take a screenshot, you write up a little report on why you put that trade on, under what conditions have you done that. Once the trade is completed, you then take a screenshot of the end of the trade and you put it in the same file. You write up what went right, what went wrong, what are you going to do next, and you do 5 or 6 of them in a day, sometimes more. And then at the end of the day, you read all your reports and then you write up another report saying what you're going to do differently tomorrow. You wake up the next day and then you read all that and then you go write up the plan. This is what I'm going to stick to today. And then you execute that. And you sit in front of 4 screens, right? I day traded for like 2 years or something like that, literally eating in front of the screens the whole time, alerts on my phone. I put on a lot of weight, went grey, stressed out. You know what I mean? It's a horrible profession. Some people love it, because then I say to them, listen, until you've got that routine down and you are improving on it, and every single day, there's 2 things that are going to happen. One is you're going to learn whether you even like it or not, because some people do. You know what I mean? Some people thrive off it, but majority of people go, I hate sitting in front of a screen for 6 to 8 hours a day, stressing out. This is not the life for me. It's like a lot of people that go to university to study, I'm going to be a vet or a doctor or I don't know, whatever. Because I used to, anyways, in a different life, I used to teach teenagers and that they were looking at going into high school. And I say to them, listen, do you want to be a vet? Go hang out with a vet for a couple of weeks and just volunteer and see what the job actually entails before you spend 3 to 4 years studying it, to then go out into the workforce and go, you know what, I hate this. because there's something crazy statistic like 60 to 70% of all people that finish their courses in university after 2 years no longer work in that industry. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
until you've actually experienced it, don't make a commitment to it, you know? So I'm like, okay, if you want to learn to day trade, this is what you need to do. And you figure whether you're the type of personality to do it, right? Generally, what always happens, well, not always, but majority of the time, is they will go, yeah, I'll do that. And I'll teach them up, train them up, da, 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 da. And then it takes like a month or so getting them all sorted. Then they disappear for like a month or two, right? Then they'll phone me up and go, oh, this trading thing kind of hasn't worked out. What do you mean it hasn't worked out? You're still on the test net, aren't you? No. After about a month, I was doing all right, and all that sort of stuff. So I decided to put some money in and I lost it. So I put some more money in and I lost it. And I said, well, that wasn't the plan. The plan was you to do 12 months. Yeah, I know, but can you now teach me to invest because I really don't like this? I'm like, cool, you've just wasted 3, 4, 5 months worth of investing. Not only have you wasted the time, you wasted the money. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
It's good for you to learn, you know what I mean? And learn that lesson so you never go back to it. But yeah, it's sort of getting people in the mind frame of like, look, the market works in cycles. You've got 4-year cycles, right? Understand the 4-year cycles. So once you've invested, when's the ideal time? It's not guaranteed or whatever to take profits. Do you know what I mean? To then, if the market and when the market does pull back, to reinvest. Do you know what I mean? So then it
Yep.
goes in the next market cycle, as opposed to taking profits to then, as money, you know. So you've got to maintain your job and your living, especially like if you're getting into crypto. It might take you 4, 8 years, 10 years, right? It might only take you 5, depending on how much money you got and what you buy. But during that period of time, isn't that 8-year lot, you should not have to go to work anymore. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Where you can now rely on just work part-time, for example, and whatever, So yeah, hopefully that answered your question, because I did go off, and I do go off tangents all the time, bro.
Nah, that's cool. That was good. Good answer. I like it. Um, yeah, I think it's really important for people to understand as well the difference between day trading and investing, which I think you explained quite well.
Yeah.
At the start as well, you talked about, so once you'd sort of set somebody up, you had sort of set that automatic buy and helped them sort of set up that automatic buy. So
Yeah.
whether that be weekly, fortnightly, monthly, in some cases, I could imagine. That dollar cost average sort of method, have you found that to be, one of the better methods for people? And are you a fan of that method?
This is how I discovered that method, and it wasn't intentionally, right? Because I was, buying tops and just constantly and whatever, and I was studying it, and I got all the charts, and I, got my head around it. But there's this app, and I don't even know if it exists anymore, or it's still functioning or whatever. It was called a Staker or some bloody thing. And anyways, and I set it up for my couple of kids, right? And it just bought $100 worth of Bitcoin every week for them, and $100 for them every single week. And I set it up and I went, I'll just try this app out. And then I forgot about it for like a year and a half or whatever. And my daughter actually brought it up. She goes, are you still doing that investment Bitcoin thing for me? I said, oh yeah, I am too. Rah, rah. So got on the app, and my ROI, return on investment, was like I can't even remember, some crazy amount, righty? And I looked at that, and then I was looking at me doing it, and I'm just going, oh God, this is so much easier. It's set and forget. You can't make a mistake. It's averaged you in. You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
absolutely no stress. The ROI on that, honestly, it was something like 286% or
Wow.
something, I mean, over 18 months. And it was just
Wow.
every single week doing that. So then I just went, okay, and I do it with myself. But when I also set people up on the recurring buy, it's like, listen, here's 5 or 6 or whatever you'd prefer, but these are 5 or 6 that you're going to level in on, right? But if you sell your lounge chair, or you get a bonus at work, or whatever, then you can use that to go into other things, right? But don't use your initial allocated funds and divert them. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You will then do that in time. Like, if just say example, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin, just the standards, right? after a year and a half or 2 years, you might have put in, this is round figures, put in $1,000 in Cardano over time, righty? But now that $1,000 is $2,500, righty? After a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. It's okay to take $500 of that profit and diversify, put it into a lower cap. You know what I mean? But don't use your funds to go your own way to start for the first year, year and a half. You know what I mean? Have these set and forget done. If you get extra money, have a look at it. But then after that period of time, that's when you can start really diversifying, but using the profits and not your allocated funds. Because if you're using allocated funds to go into lower cap ones, you can get smashed. You know what I mean? You can do really good as well, righty? It's both sides of the sword, man. You can get absolutely wrecked, but you can get absolutely massive gains, like mad gains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for the security, and like I said, if you want to pump into the lower cap ones, do that with extra money, not the initial what we've allocated. That's fine. And then after a period of time, you use the profit off that one to then diversify. So you're kind of doing on 3 different levels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good
Makes
advice.
sense. Uh,
Hey, I didn't even ask, but when did you get into the crypto space? What year and
oh,
how?
geez, I've got to add that up actually. Someone asked me that the other day. I'm going to say 5 years ago,
Okay, so
right?
2016, 2017, somewhere
Yeah,
in there. Yep.
I know that I bought the top. Well,
Yeah.
I was buying it all the way up to the top, and then I rode it all the way down. You know, like right down to I think I first hit into Ethereum. No, I do remember buying Ethereum at I think $85.
Wow.
It went all the way down to there, so I followed it all the way down. And
Nice.
I was like so convinced. I'm like, the world's got it wrong. This is revolutionary. Like, this is like earth changing stuff. Why is it just going down so much? You know, like, am I missing something? Is this a Ponzi scheme? You know, but I just had faith in it, you know, like I really, really did. And then it kind of got to the point where it went, well, I'm kind of all in anyway, so I might as well write it out. But yeah, like in bear markets, because Bitcoin traditionally has dropped 85%, 80, 85%. Oh, how many times now? I know 7, 8 times, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in the game. But people got to understand is that that's when you buy. Do you know what I mean? That's the ideal time to buy is in a bear market, you know, and then sort of just ride it up and take some profit after a period of time and allocate that for when it pulls back again. So then you know, you're stacking sats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just have faith in the process because it is scary. I mean, like, you know, you have portfolios that within like 2 or 3 weeks you can wipe out like $500,000-600,000 off a portfolio. That freaks you out. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
does. But when you've been in it a while, you just go, okay, cool. And it's also like with the traditional stock guys and all that, you know, we have a crypto, especially lower cap ones, it drops 35, 38% in a day, right? They freak out, right? The traditional stock guys. Because if they did that in the traditional stock market, people would be throwing themselves out of buildings. Do you know what I mean? But we just call that Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, dude. Because I've had guys, especially the stock guys, they're like, oh my God, man, my whole portfolio's gone down by 31%. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh no, I've got to get out. No, it's crypto, bro. You know, like just relax, mate. Just relax. Oh, China's banning Bitcoin again. Oh no, China's banning Bitcoin. It's all going to go. Yeah, I think China's banned Bitcoin 15 times since I've been in it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean, dude? Now's a good time to buy because everyone's fucking selling because they're
Yeah.
freaking out. You know what I mean? Oh, it means it's all going to go to zero. It can't go to zero, dude, because you don't understand blockchain. It's decentralized. Do you know what I mean? There is no central authority like in the Federal Reserve going, I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
what I love about it. You know, it empowers the people. It's not some multinational government, horrible, disgusting corporation. You know, I don't have a high opinion of government, right? Um, you know, that's controlling things. And yeah, and people got to have that tolerance, right? But what I also say to investors is, excuse me, anyone can press the green button. You know, anyone can press buy and it goes up and you think you're a genius. You know, oh look, how many people thought that they were genius in investing when they bought Dogecoin?
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely no utility. It's a meme coin, right? It's actually a fork, right? And they just go, oh yeah, I put $1,000 in the Doge and it turned into 6.5 grand. I'm the investor of the year. Yeah, dude, you're not. You're not, mate. Because anyone can press the green button. It's when you sell that's important. It's when you take profit and how you sell. Like round figures again, $1,000 goes to 17, 1800. You take 300 of it. You just take the 10, 15%, goes up another 25%, take another 5%. And you kind of just level out, level out, level out. You don't go, oh, it's gone up from 1,000 to 1,800, sell the lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the hardest thing to teach people, because there's no logic when it comes to trading or investing. It's pure emotion, right? You buy something and it just skyrockets, and you're just like, how long can they feel the pain of not taking profits? Do you know what I mean? Because they're like, well, if I take it now and it goes up another 20%, I'm going to feel really bad about it. You know what I mean? No, take it off the table. You know what I mean? Just take a bit, take a bit, take a bit. It's harder to teach someone to do that than to invest and even teach them how to diversify. It actually is. And it is a struggle with me because it is an emotional decision, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you start Orange Brick Road? What was the sort of catalyst for that? And I guess how long have you been operating that business as well?
Well, I've been teaching now for, I don't know, once again, I have to add it up. I'm going to say 3, maybe 4 years.
Mhm.
And when I say that, initially it was just like went right down the Orange Brick Road, like right down the rabbit hole. And then I'd be at parties or at friends' places, all I could talk about. I'm like, have you heard about this Bitcoin thing, man? Oh, Ethereum, bro, it does this, it does that, getting all excited. Most people just didn't want to hear it, but some people would be like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that. It seems all right. Da, da. But what happened was I started doing all right in it. And then friends and family would go, oh, he's doing all right. Can you show me? Righty. So then I'd get them into it, and then they would tell their friends, and then I'd get them into it. Then they would tell their friends, and I'd get them into it. So I didn't want any of this. You know what I mean? That I was into it for myself, and I was happy to show people. Right. Then it just pretty much became a full-time job where I was just doing it full time. Excuse me. And I really liked my life because I would work 2 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? That's it. And it's basically, most of it was just for love, like to help people out and show them and whatever, travel wherever I wanted, laptop, internet connection, didn't matter, bed and breakfast here, travel there, not so much now because of all the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. So anyways, I was approached by a student that I've been teaching for years, and he wanted to start up a business, right, to monetize it more and referral links and all that sort of stuff. And I just wasn't interested. Like I was just like, I like my life, dude. It's all good. But then I met with the managers, CEOs of a couple of exchanges, because I flew over there because I went, okay, I'll have a look at it. So I had a look at it. Then I went, not really my thing, but I met with them and all that sort of stuff, and then further talks and all that sort of thing. And then I wanted to help out my students and get them to become teachers. You know what I mean? Because I was getting so many students that I was giving them to them. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't have time for you. I'm really, really sorry. But speak to this person. I know that they know what they're doing because they've been with me like for years. You know what I mean? So I know you're in safe hands. And it's kind of grown like that, where I was just sort of palming the students out and that sort of stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to build a website just to make my life easier because I want my 2 hours a day back. Do you know what I mean? I just want to make my life easier. And then it's from there, it's grown into this full-time business now where we've built the website with the intention of making my life easier, but it's actually become more complicated, right? I'm hoping that in 2 or 3 months' time, I can go back to my life and the whole thing will just run itself. But it doesn't seem like it's going to work out that way at this stage. But yeah, we've started with with teachers, and then just people that I've met along the way that are very specialized in certain areas. And I'm like, oh shit, you need exposure to my students and people that, come with that. So you need to be on the website. Do you know what I mean? And then someone else that does the TASOS, for example, or the internet security, or whatever, oh, you need to be on the website. So all of a sudden, this thing has just grown. And then we've got people that are into, like natural health and taxation, bookkeeping, all manner of areas. They're all crypto people, but they have their own sort of professions, type of stuff. So I can do a little screen share with you if you want at the moment. I can show you what
Yeah,
I'm. Oh,
absolutely.
you've already seen the website, haven't you?
I have, but it would be beneficial if you wanted to quickly go through it for the viewers. That'd be awesome.
Okay, you've got to enable the screen sharing. Yeah.
Um,
I've got to get it up actually. Where is it? There. It's still under construction. It has gone live as of about 2 hours ago, I think.
okay.
We're still doing a bunch of work on it, and we're working out the logistics behind it, like the booking in system, and then we've had to do all the legals as well. So we've had to sort out stuff with the lawyers and how the arrangements works and all that sort of thing. But it's still hasn't been enabled.
Sorry, whereabouts? I'm just in the settings now.
You go where it says share screen. I think you click on that and then you go enable.
Gotcha.
Pretty sure it's there. I
There we
normally
go.
just, yeah, I
Should be
normally
able.
use Skype. Yeah, it looks like it's loading now.
Beauty.
How are we doing for time? I've still got a little bit.
Yeah, still got 15 minutes or so.
Here, cool. Alrighty, so you can see my screen, all right?
Yeah, perfect.
Alrighty. So yeah, it's basically, this is the homepage. It's got like some interviews that I've done. Oh, I'll just close that. Some interviews there. These are the list of the different people that specialize in different things. Then we've got like, so crypto consultants, that's got a BT, for example, and
Yeah.
Sophie, security, passive income, a crypto on borders. So this is the team here. So yeah, basically they read the profile of, there's old Harlan. He's actually just in the background over there. He's my right-hand man. He's like a logistics guy. He sorts out all the stuff that when I start yelling at the screen, he just comes over and goes click and then walks back over there. It's pretty, it's pretty much his job.
Those,
No,
those
he
guys
does.
are those guys are very handy to have.
They are worth the weight in gold. Absolutely gold. Oh no, he's a top bloke, and he's got a great story. Actually, we'll have to do that off air because I'm pretty sure it was illegal. He was mining Bitcoin at his university by
Oh,
using
legend.
using their computers and stuff. Him and his mates. It's an absolute brilliant story. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you just scroll through, and we've got guys across Australia and that sort of thing. So yeah, you find sort of a teacher that you want. Um, and yeah, you just sort of make a call with them to do a free half-an-hour phone call with them, and then from there, I mean, you can book with like phone calls with all the teachers. Find one that you like, one you
Yeah.
gel with. They've all got different backgrounds, obviously. So yeah, the passive security and crypto security and passive income people. We've also got about 4 other people that are going to be on here, but we haven't uploaded them all yet and
Yeah.
sorted out all that. Then the consultants, there's the old Betty and Sophie. She runs Crypto Sense. So she does all the fundamental analysis, that sort of stuff.
Awesome.
Aaron, he specializes in cryptocurrency tax,
Yeah.
right? And also setting up corporations, businesses, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's right in the crypto. So is Heidi. She basically prepares all the books for people in conjunction with Aaron. So Aaron will go, all right, you need this, you need that, da, da, da. Then Heidi then prepares it all for him, sends it to him. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we've got, business and lifestyle, which is always good. Relationship specialists and naturopaths and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, but that's basically how it works. It's very, very simple. Like I said, we've got another person going there and another one going here. Yeah, so we're basically network between each other because they all run different businesses and all are into crypto. So that's pretty simple like that. And then once again, not everything's running at the moment. We've got the FAQ, frequently asked questions, and we're going to have embedded videos here
Yeah.
of, what is blockchain, what is Bitcoin, what's the difference between Cardano, Ethereum, just the real basics. And then we've got resources here, which has the interviews that I've done thus far. There's another 6 that have got to come up here. And then we have books. So yeah, Murray Rothbard and Ludwig von Mises and Lou Rockwell and all that. So libertarian ideals. But then we've got crypto books as well. Mastering Bitcoin, Bitcoin Standard, obviously, the
Yeah.
money of internet. You know what I mean? So yeah, basically you book in for an appointment, free half an hour consultation. Then from there, you book in a lesson. We send you an entire pack, of this is how you set up, certain things, and you can have all this done before the lesson. But if you're going to have trouble with it, we can help you through it to get ready. Then once they had their lesson, then we send them people to follow, influences that I've learned to respect over the years. Because when I first started, I subscribed to everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, just I wanted information from everybody. But I've uh, over the years I've sort of narrowed it down to about 7 or 8, where these guys are awesome at what they do. They're very experienced. Says, yeah, follow these people. We're also putting up the documentaries in the resource section as well. The documentaries on Bitcoin and Satoshi and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So basically that's it, without me sounding like a shill, but that's where it's at. And hopefully my job is going to be very simple. We're working it out with the marketing people, and because they've talked me into going onto Facebook and Twitter, right? Because I just didn't want to. I think it's a communist cesspool, right? But apparently it's necessary, right? And apparently doing a blog is necessary as well, which, who would have known? So we've got a blog guy as well, right? And an SEO guy, the search engine optimization guy, and, and we're all coordinating all that. So with the idea, because initially what the business plan was we've done up presentations with Sophie and Abedi have done up these slideshow presentations. This is how fiat currency works. This is the inflation and hedging against inflation. This is how Bitcoin works, the blockchain, these are the differences. These are the people that are investing into it. That takes about half an hour, thereabouts, of me doing the lecture. Then I do half an hour of Q&A. Do you know what I mean? So I'd go to clubs and, yacht clubs or golf clubs or whatever clubs, and book out their room, send it to all their members. They all rock up, do the presentation, do the Q&A. All right, happy days. Here's the business cards, away you go. Righty, go to the website, and that's going to basically be my own function. Because of lockdowns, mask mandates, vaccine passports, all this sort of stuff, we've now pivoting to doing these lectures online. So we'll be advertising to certain foundations and Mindsight people, or that sort of stuff, to have a free seminar. You know what I mean? That will play that presentation, and then I'll do the Q&A. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully that'll be, and then from there we take clips, and obviously from my interviews, and they put it up on the Twitter and the Facebook and the LinkedIn and all that sort of jazz, with the blog and all that sort of thing, to generate traffic to here, to get my guys work. Because you might want to edit this bit out, but a lot of the people that are on here don't have jobs anymore because they wouldn't get vaxxed, right? Now, I don't particularly care where you're at when it comes to that, and I don't care where anyone else is when it comes to that, right? It's freedom of choice, man, happy with it. But when people have lost their entire income because they didn't choose to have a medical procedure, that's enforced by the state, I think good on them. You stand up for yourself, So I want to get them work. All righty. That's my only concern, because this was supposed to roll out over a longer period of time and get everything done. Do you know what I mean? But now these teachers, because a lot of the teachers that I've been with for a while do have a second job or run a business. And they were going to do this part-time because they can fill it in their calendar, between 4 and 6, I'm available 5 days a week. And they were going to do that until they got to a point where they could get rid of their job because they've got enough teaching. But now that they haven't got their job, do you know what I mean? Or they've been cut their hours down or whatever, it sped the whole process up of me going, okay, my main function is doing things like this, talking to people like you, getting the word out. You know what I mean? So I'm doing that balancing act of building all this, coordinating it all, doing my own teaching with my students that I've had for a while. I don't take on any more students at the moment. I'm too busy. Sorting out my own portfolio, as well as sorting out the lectures and then all the social media for it and all that sort of stuff. All that's been compressed because I need to get these people work. Do you know what I mean? Because that they, to me, are my family. Do you know what I mean? Like I love these people. Because that's what happens when you start teaching, you know, and you spend a lot of time with them. You start getting very personal because they start talking about their goals, you know, and where they went right and where they went wrong in life. Start talking about their family, their kids, their job, you know, just why things are uploading and, you know, downloading or whatever and that you get to know them because you're dealing with such a personal thing, which is their finances, you know what I mean, and their personal goals. So it really opens them up to sort of, after a while, to trust you. And so you get to know your clients very, very intimately. Like I go around barbecues with them, dinners, excuse me, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's basically where we're at with that. And it's all going well.
Yeah.
We just have to do all the underlying stuff, which, you know, in hindsight, it's obvious. But when I went, this is the concept. I want to get a bunch of teachers on a website. Do you know what I mean? That you can book into, that they teach people. The end. But then it's turned into this other thing, you know, where we're doing Facebook ads and Twitter and LinkedIn and online seminars and, you know, podcasts and all that. It's like, oh, you know, I'm happy that it's happening, but I really want my life back.
Got to get those 2 hours back.
That's right, man. A bit of freedom, man. Because I
That's it.
got to spend more time with my family, my friends, and can help them out and travel. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, well, not so much lately, but it's like, oh yeah, it's getting a bit hot here. I might go down south. Do you know what I mean? You know, and just because that was the idea of me getting into crypto and investing and all that, is for the freedom. Now it's the complete opposite. I'm tired here 12, 14 hours a day.
Yeah, working more than you would if you just worked a normal job.
That's right. And sometimes I just go, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You know, like I don't need to do this. But it really is to help the students that I've had for years, you know what I mean, that are in this situation, and the other people that are on that site there that have different professions and that, because they're like found, you know what it's like with crypto people. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's a certain connection and you've got a certain mind frame, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best people. It's the irony is that the best people are in crypto, but also the worst.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's so true.
Like, if you want to get on Reddit or something like that and just get pounded on, you know, ask a silly question or whatever, but you get, you know, the dichotomy of it is just brilliant. But you meet the best people in crypto. You meet freedom-loving people. You meet people that have got aspirations, you know, and are motivated, you know, and they're very entrepreneurial people as well, you know, a bit like yourself, you know, like you do your little side hustle and you're an entrepreneur, you want to improve, you know, you're a crypto person, you're one of us, you know.
That's it. I've been orange pilled.
Yeah, straight up, brother, straight up. Well, that's where the name actually came from, Orange Brick Road, because I struggled with that name for so long, and the team was like, you need to come up with a name because we've got to register the name. We've got to, I'm like, fucking, they're like crypto this, it could be crypto club, it could be, and I don't want crypto in it. They're like, oh, you have to have crypto in it. I'm like, fucking don't want crypto in it. But how it works out is, and it popped in my head and I just went, this is it, it's genius. The Yellow Brick Road, the Wizard of Oz, right? They've written PhDs on it, right? Where the Yellow Brick Road is obviously gold, and she wore originally silver slippers. The Iron Man was England. The Straw Man was Europe. The I got lost.
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow was Europe. Iron Man was America, and the Lion was England. I just lost my mind then. And the symbolism all the way through the movie about the Wizard of Oz is actually the Federal Reserve, you know, and the meeting at the Jekyll Island and all that. And there's entire PhDs written on it, you know.
Wow.
And I just went Orange Brick Road because of Bitcoin, obviously, and the Bitcoin standard, You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The original book that I read, the Bitcoin Standard, you know, where they're going to be making that to replace fiat currency, you know, that sort of thing. And I went, Orange Brick Road, that's just genius. And it was like 8:30 at night. And I just went, fuck. So I've rung one of my guys and I'm like, we need to register this name now because I want to find out whether it's even available. You know, because I finally found a genius name. We're going to look it up. It's not available. Do you know what I mean? Someone's already taken it. So like, no, do it now. And he's like, I'm about to go to bed, bro. And I'm like, it needs to be done now. I need to know. So he gets online. He goes, it's available. I said, press the green button, bro. We're buying it. Yeah. So that's how
That's
we come up
awesome.
with the name anyway. And
It's
we are
such a
going to
great,
put that.
it is such a great name as well.
It is. And it sticks, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does.
And I like how the OBR, Orange Brick Road, and they use
Yeah.
the B for the Bitcoin there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Very nice.
Yeah, and we got the hats and we got the jackets and we got everything. We got the hoodies, you know.
Loving
Yeah,
it.
we
I would,
got swag.
I like, I like those hats. I'm a hat wearer.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
One's coming right up, brother.
So when we meet up for a beer, we'll have to exchange gifts.
Absolutely, man.
Look,
Absolutely.
we've been going for close to an hour.
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate your time as well. Thank you so much. I think what you guys are doing as well is sorely needed in the industry. You know, like you've just kind of said that you meet some of the best people in the crypto space, and then the flip side, you meet some bad actors,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And I think what you guys are doing with that education piece, helping people get started, is just brilliant. It's sorely needed, and I wish more people, would obviously, do something similar. Have you got any closing thoughts for the viewers? And then also, where can we find out a bit about you guys and what you guys do?
Closing thoughts. So it'd just be, listen, do something about your future today, because before you know it, it's going to be tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, it's starting to exercise again. Oh, I'll put it off. I'll put it off, put it off. And then you get into the habit of putting it off. Do you know what I mean? So the more you put something off, the harder it is to do. Now, I know because I hate making my bed. I hate washing my clothes. Do you know what I mean? But the more you don't make your bed or wash your clothes, the smellier you get. Do you know what I mean? So just get it done. You know, it makes your life easier. I would say get into crypto and investing and understanding. Just get it done. You know, it is a journey and it is complicated. That's, you know, it has its thing. It takes you a little while to get it, but really, really just dive into it and spend time on it. And the second thing was where you get hold of it. Yeah, cool. Orangebrickroad.com.au.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. I think we got the .org and all that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, just go on to that. My phone number's there. And yeah, that's about it, really. I
No,
just want to say thank you so much for your time too, man. I really appreciate it, eh?
yeah,
It's
no
taken a
problem.
while, but
It
we got
has.
there, eh?
Absolutely, we did. We absolutely got that. Look, thank you so much. I'll put all the info for your website as well in the comment section when we publish this episode as well. So we're recording on Friday, the 11th of February. I'll pop this out on Wednesday next week, so
Cool.
4 or 5 days time. So we'll chuck
Excellent,
all that
brother.
info in there. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, man.
Thank you again, man. Cheers.
Awesome.